Hey everybody, it's your man James, back again with another comic book review for you. Today we're going to take a look at something that's a classic, a very historic issue, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8. As any of you out there who are watching this probably know, this is the story where we learn how Spider-Man got the black alien costume that he wore, which was a big deal back in 1984, as it was the first time they'd ever altered his costume, in the character's history. So almost 25 years without altering his suit, and then they did, and so it was actually a big deal at the time. And this is the story where we learn the secrets of how all that happened. It even says right there on the cover, amid the chaos, there comes a costume. But this issue is actually more than just the costume. It's a whole lot more. And to me, this issue kind of typifies what's missing in modern comics so much, versus what this was then and how comics were then to today. And this is a little bit of a different review. This isn't so much a conclusion of do I like this story or not. It's pretty obvious. I'll get it out of the way right now. This is a 9 out of 10. This is fairly close to perfection. This is what comics, especially superhero comics, are supposed to be. So we got it's by Jim Shooter, Mike Zeck, with a host of inkers on this specific issue, which is really kind of the only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is because they had to shop around with inkers, and sometimes sometimes the inker that does it works well with the Zeck's pencils, and sometimes not so much. But in this story, basically what happens is the heroes are taking it to the villains who were brought to Battle World by the Beyonder, and after having taken loss after loss over the last several issues, the heroes mount together, and the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers and Spider-Man all head out to go after the villains who have kidnapped She-Hulk and have her captive in there. And you can just see, like right here, just the very first image. I mean, it's just bam, in your face. We got Thor right there with the hammer, like almost coming off the page at you. I mean, it's just really great. And you can see inside, you got the Enchantress, who is the one character who really doesn't really care about what's going on so much. She's drunk. And then, here you go. You got the villains pounding on She-Hulk. I mean, trying to murder her, basically. Even, Dr. Octopus. Come on, Ock. If we hurry, I reckon we can lay an ambush for him. Certainly, Pile Driver. But first, the coup de grace. There. Now there's one less to concern us. Just totally, totally savage. They showed no mercy in this. And, it's all this stuff. Iron Man's fighting the Wrecker. Just tons of stuff going on here. Spider-Man against the Absorbing Man. And then the Thing, who's having problems staying the Thing. You got the new Spider-Woman involved. I mean, it's all just, this is all action. This is what superheroes were made for. This right here. I mean, just look at all this. You got Hawkeye taking on a guy who could crush him, and he just he hits him with an arrow, and suddenly he's just lost it all. Here, the Enchantress subdues the Hulk, and yet she can't take Captain America. Your will is very strong. Very well. We shall do this the hard way. Curse you, hold still. Surtur's teeth, you move as quick as the cats of Skenorheim. And just bam. No, you would not strike me. Not if there were any other choice. Just bam, and takes her out. And then, but this to me, this sequence, this stuff here, this is Spider-Man's battle against Titania. Is the one, it's classic Spider-Man. I had a feeling somebody was up here in the rafters trying to drop a 40-ton beam on our heads. Spider-Man, the world-famous one, do you surrender? To a scrawny little runt like you? You're talking to Titania, Bugman, and here I thought you were some common ruffian. Yeah, can't hit me, and am I glad? He's just totally talking smack. You know, here you got the great scene here with Volcana and the Molecule Man. You know, a little love and romance in between the fights. You know, because she's, you know, and she's trying to protect him. You know, and but like this right here, these next couple pages, to me, this is the real story of the book right here. Impossible. Nobody can move that fast. Nobody else. Now, why does a woman who can lift locomotives find my humble talent so surprising? With little room to operate, no one can lay a glove on me. Not the X-Men, and not the Absorbing Man, and not you. How do you think I've survived all this time? When I get you out, all you're going to get is frustrated and eventually trashed. No, it's not fair. But if we were fighting in a broom closet, that'd be fair, right? Stop it. You ought to be happy, Cuddles. You aspire to be a bully, and man, you're a classic. You talk tough and nasty when you got the upper hand. But when you're losing, well, that's when the whining little wimpette inside you comes out. Bam, and he just trashes her. Totally. I mean, she's way more powerful than he is. You know, she can lift, like he said, locomotives compared to him. And yet he's able to take her down like she's nothing. And, you know, this lays the foundation for later, that she has a mental block in her head for a while where she's afraid of Spider-Man. When she sees him, she freezes up because she remembers this beating so badly. You know, this is a woman who, when she gained her powers, you know, she thought, you know, she's always looking to start fights and show how tough she is. And now here she is, she's deathly afraid of Spider-Man because he beat her so badly. This is what heroes do. They take down bad guys, and they don't worry about, like, oh, she's a woman, I can't hit her. You saw Cap. If there were any other way, I wouldn't, but you're not leaving me a choice. And so they do it. That's what heroes do. This is what you don't see in comics. You would never see a scene where Spider-Man beat a female opponent, even if she's more powerful than him. You wouldn't see that today. But here, he whipped her ass and tongue-lashed her while he did it. This is classic Spider-Man. This is the way the character is meant to be. He's not like the way he is in books today. You know, and you got Cap and the Torch taking on Ultron. I mean, good God, this is the character that's defeated the Avengers all together, and you just got these two. And with the Torch's Nova Flame, they knock them down and take them out. And then, but even in all of this, you still see the heroism show through. Here, Cap goes in to find Doom. There he is. Looks like it's come down to just you and me, Doom. Which is how it ought to be. Doom. Whatever happened to him, he barely survived. He's barely alive, and he seems completely out of it. He's harmless, and he just leaves him. He doesn't, you know, beat him. He doesn't, you know, he shows mercy to a foe that is obviously not able to fight. You know, again, the heroism of the character, the honor. You know, you don't see that in comics anymore. Here's now a She-Hulk who was beaten badly. Again, you would never see this. They would never show a female character getting beaten the way she was. You know, despite the fact that it was like 5 or 6 on 1, you know, to take her down, it wouldn't matter. They would just be like, oh, we can't show women getting beaten that way. You know, and then as the story continues, you know, you got this little side story with Colossus and this alien woman that he is enamored with. You know, the Wasp, who they thought was dead, turns out that she isn't. And then, of course, you know, the story ends with this. So much happened in this issue. So much action, so much drama, heroism. You know, everything that you want a superhero comic to be, this comic is. You don't see this stuff anymore. They don't know how to do this anymore. These modern creators, they either have lost the ability to do it or they never had it to begin with, and they don't care. This book is caring. This is saying we know what these characters are about. We know what their history is, what their voice is like. These every character in here. Cap was like the way Cap should be. Spider-Man was like how Spider-Man should be. Thor was like how Thor should be. They all were, all the villains were evil. There was no question about like, well, maybe they're not so evil, and the heroes, well, maybe they're not so heroic. It was very clear cut. And this is what you want. This is what comics should be. Like I said, 9 out of 10, definitely recommend, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, the whole entire miniseries. If you have a chance to read this, you should. Remind yourself of what superheroes are supposed to be. Where bad guys, if they're bad, they get beat. It doesn't matter if the hero is a man and the villain is a woman. Or it doesn't matter if the hero is a woman and the villain is a man. It doesn't matter. Identities are irrelevant. All that matters is heroism. All that matters is good versus evil. And that's what you want, and that's what you get here. So I would definitely say, if you haven't already, go check this out. It's a classic story, one of the best storylines of all time. And like I said, this issue in specific, just the sequence of Spider-Man whooping on Titania, that alone is worth having this issue. That is what we need in comics today, is stuff like that. And so make sure you go and check this out. I can't recommend it strongly enough to you. You won't be sorry. It's a classic tale from over 35 years ago, back when comics knew how to be comics. So that'll do it for this review, and until next time, take care.